We'll reconvene after lunch at 1:39.
I mean, that was me.
Sorry?
You said we had to get a crack on.
Right, Australia Day Awards, Resolution 3.3.13. Very detailed documentation provided, right down to the nomination form. Just if I can go into a little bit broader detail, this year, the Australia Day celebrations, we've decided, because of the time of the year it is, as in the day of the week, sorry, or it's the same time of year, is a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. Probably one of the more successful Australia Day celebrations in the West is the one that's held in Alpha. That community would like for their games and celebration predominantly to be held on the Saturday. I think the same opportunity could extend from the Saturday through to the Tuesday, to be honest, for all communities, because if the community chooses to have their event on the Tuesday morning, as you know, on the Australia Day morning, as would be the case traditionally in Marlborough, that's just as fine as somebody wanting to have something that's a big function on the Saturday or the Sunday, given that the next day is not a work day. So when we put the expressions of interest out, we give, which is not this resolution, but related to it, we gave them the choice to choose when they would like for somebody to host it. It can be traditionally a problem on a weekday here in Barcaldine to get a venue to host it, because the next, you know, there's not big numbers turning out because the next day is a work day. So we're hopeful that by allowing it to happen a little bit earlier, if that's what they want. Now, for the awards, what is proposed is, given that the days will all be different, we'll let each venue release everyone who's nominated, so everyone can get to see who's nominated, and then we'll have a function either Monday night or Tuesday. We're leaning towards Monday night, but it depends on who puts in and where the different events are staged on what days for the actual announcement. And we'll do it very similar to what we did with the garden competition, where we'll release it on the internet and on social media so that everybody gets to see everybody getting an award. The garden competition received pretty good reviews from them. Yeah, and it'll all be at the same time. So instead of it being, you know, only the people in each area that really get to have a full understanding of the background to each award, we'll spend a bit of time filming the background story to each nominee prior to it, and then have the actual recipients handed out.
Do we need a sports award?
Well, if you walk through the awards now, for the last several years, we've struggled to fill categories. What's presented to you here is a slight condensement of that, in that, a slight change to that. The Citizen of the Year and the Young Citizen of the Year start at the top. Currently, under the old regime, if you were somebody who nominated for that category and you were under 25 years, you actually weren't eligible for the Citizen of the Year award. You had to win the Junior Citizen of the Year award, which is fine in some cases, but in other cases it's that person may be the more appropriate recipient of the overall Citizen of the Year award, which is our number one goal. So what's presented here is it doesn't, the dot point that's not there that has been there previously is somebody who's over the age of 25. So essentially here we're not discriminating on the basis of age for the Citizen of the Year. So do we have any problem with that as we just work through these? No problem with that. Regional award, so they're both regional awards. Community Event of the Year, the only change here is that is also a regional event, a regional award. So all nominees for this from whatever community they come from will nominate for the Community Event of the Year across the council area. Head Yakka Champion will be the same. Young Head Yakka Champion the same. Volunteer awards are for all over our community. So volunteers can be nominated from any community and we'll acknowledge them. So there's no actual winner of this. Provided they meet the criteria that's outlined there, we can hand out 15, 10, 1, 6 Volunteer of the Year awards right across the council area in every community, or there might be none in one community.
Mr. Mayor, is there an inconsistency because Citizen and Young Citizen of the Year, but then Head Yakka and Young Head Yakka Champion, the Head Yakka Champion, we've got the 26th.
Yeah, there is a head. There is. Yep.
Do we want to be consistent
Yeah, that's probably a good point.
Or,
Councillors, do we change that to be the same as our citizen award? Just a head yakka champion and a young head yakka?
I think so.
Right, done. Dot point two's gone. No one else is speaking against it. Senior sports, junior sports, they are labelled age. So senior is anything 26 and over, and 25 and under is junior. And cultural is not age specific. As in, it could be somebody who's 18, it could be somebody who's 58. Or, correct, could be a group. Thoughts, councillors? Just to lead in, what we're proposing is to increase the meritorious nature and the fact that we're not just trying to scare up nominations for nomination's sake, which we were when it was all isolated to each community. We were begging people to put in nominations for it, and it was possibly detracting from it, whereas now it is truly inclusive of everybody, and the meritorious nature of it, because it is right across the regional council area, is to, somebody just because they're from a town doesn't reason why they couldn't win the overall award, whereas under our old model there was one for each community, and this one backs up. So Becky, I'll come to you first. Thoughts?
Oh, my thoughts are, as far as the sports awards go, has there been enough sport around this year to, are we going to be struggling, or? I suppose if we take it away, then there's probably going to be some more.
Yeah, let's just see what my thoughts to that would be. Let's just see what the nominations bring back. There's still been school-based sport. Like a lot of these recipients of these awards are kids that are representing on school sport for the junior stuff, or at school sport, or have achieved to a. And in senior sports, well, there's still sports like
might not be a lot of
Barrel racing.
team sport, but there's individual or sport.
Yeah.
horse racing, barrel racing. Some of that stuff's happened. Golf, lawn bowls. Actually, at the start of the year, still had their championships. Clay target shooting, rifle shooting, tennis. Swimming carnivals are scheduled to return in October. But I think there'll still be enough to generate excitement.
That was my main worry, was that,
Dan, your thoughts? Councillor Arthur?
Just again with the senior sports award, do we just make it a sports award and take out that over 26 again?
The only difference is on this case, I think that there is that's done to deliberately divide it up a little bit, because there is often quite a few nominations in both, but specifically in the junior. So and because that is titled senior, as opposed to the other one is just champion or citizen of the year, we could.
Young and young. Yeah.
Just the junior stuff is often quite significantly different from senior opportunities, like it is very individualistic, a lot of the senior stuff. I'm happy to go either way.
No, I think it's a good move to go regionally, because that's what I think we need to become a region rather than individual town, so I think it's a good move to go regionally. It's a step in the right direction.
Councillor Gleeson.
Totally agree with what Colin just said, what Councillor Hanson just said.
Councillor Peebles.
No, I'm fine with me.
If that's the case, I'll put it with that amendment to head yakka and just head yakka. With that amendment, I call for someone to move the recommendation, please. Councillor Gleeson, seconder. Councillor Hanson, those in favour, 7-0. I assume Councillor Peebles.
Yes, Mr Mayor, it is, sir.
Like boarding school, shortly, we'll take the phone. 3-3-1-4. Actually, councillors, maybe we should return in the agenda to the community consultation forums at 3-3-11. So we've had confirmation over lunch that the 26th of November is Aramac, the 25th of November is Alpha.
12th of November is Buckland State School and the 27th of November is St John's, and it's at the school starting at 9 a.m.
Right. So the 2nd, 7th, 3rd and 8th of December don't clash with any speech nights, and the 30th doesn't as well. Councillors, are we happy with those? The 2nd and the 3rd is Alpha Barkey. The 7th and the 8th is Jericho Aramac, and the 30th is Butterborough. Hayley or Jess, would we be able to create calendar entries for councillors and staff, all the staff in the room, please?
And Mr Mayor, could we also have on that little calendar, can we have the speech nights for all of our schools too, please? If we've got,
Yep, so we can share
just so
that.
as we all know, we might be able to make it happen.
6 speech nights and
Please?
5 community consultation forums. Can I have somebody move that we conduct those forums on the following dates? Can we just maybe put a rider in there, subject to, like if something happens, say we have a big storm or council's preoccupied, we can move it if we have to. Look, we've all got common sense. If we've got it, sorry, Harley, we don't need to put that in there. I'm sure our communities will understand if something drastic was to happen, we'll either have a reduced forum in that only some of us get there, or move it for that. Councillor Peoples, seconded Councillor Plum. Debate, please. All in favour? 7-0. Turning from the agenda to 3314. Got substantial documentation provided there on our interim regional tourism strategy. Can I ask that we receive that, and that document opens now for open strategy for council and community feedback. I don't think today, we're only receiving it, we need to give it further digestion time, but it would definitely be something that we would take some key themes out of for community consultation. So we might be able to condense it into, identify some key themes out of that, then to get sick community feedback when we go to the communities over.
Now would you like to extend that? What's in the background, the date?
I would,
30th of November.
I would like to extend it out. It's only in the background. I think we won't put a closure on that. Let's look at probably the December meeting. Yeah, but that's very close to that forum. I'd be thinking the January meeting.
There are some things in here that need correcting too, Mr Mayor.
Yeah, so let's not go through the document line by line today. We just receive it now, and then let's work through it individually as councillors and take some themes to our community forum to correct any erroneous statements, and then look at adoption closer to January. We don't need to put the date in the resolution, but I'd be thinking back of house January's. Any further comment about it? Being none, could we ask for a mover, please? Councillor Hanson, seconded Councillor Plum. Those in favour? 7-0. What did you want to comment on something else?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, far away.
Yeah, we need to have a look at it too, I think, before we put it out. Just one here that's clear, and there's also a direct route from Jericho to Aramac by the Torres Creek Road. That's bad lines in there.
Right, 3315. These next ones, councillors, I felt important to bring to you from the LGAQ conference. LGAQ have 2 awards that they give out. The next one, some of us are very familiar with, Brett, the Butch Lenton Award, but we'll deal with this one first. There's background information there, but I think there's an emerging area where there's been some unsung heroes for a long period of time doing sterling effort in protecting predominantly women and children, but I understand that it's not exclusively the domain of that, but has historically focused heavily on those 2 fields. I'd just like to watch show you two short clips now. One about the creation of the award, and then what's the three there, Haley?
One's from the conference and one's the winners interview that they had, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just go with the award that is presented. This is the first year this was awarded. This is one first.
Hi, Jane, with Domestic Violence. So when I was asked to do this, there was no way I could say no. It's not something I've ever done before, this kind of project or piece. So it was quite daunting. But just my experience with it and knowing what it's like to come out of that the other side and be able to be creative and be able to do this kind of thing with other ladies that might be some kind of inspiration or hope to them for the future becomes for them and their children. Yeah. So this piece in the middle here is going to be filled with purple iridescent resin, and that's going to signify the ladies and the children. And this piece here is almost like hands being cupped around ladies and children to support them. That's the inspiration for this piece here. And then on the back, we've filled some of the gaps with a deeper purple resin. That's going to be sounding back and raised again. I've got my own journey with domestic violence. So when I was asked to do this, there was no way I could say no. It's not something I've ever done before, this kind of project or piece. So it was quite daunting. But just my own experience with it and knowing what it's like to come out of that the other side and be able to be creative and be able to do this kind of thing with other ladies that I might be some kind of inspiration or hope to them for the future, what the future could hold for them and their children. Okay, so this piece in the middle here is going to be filled with purple iridescent resin, and that's going to signify the ladies and the children. And this piece here is almost like hands being cupped around the ladies and children to support them. That's the inspiration for this piece here. And then on the back, we've filled some of the gaps with a deeper purple resin. That's going to be sanded back and raised again. That's the darker side. This signifies the darkness that women and children are in when they're in violent relationships. And then coming through to the front, we're going to make the purple a lot lighter and brighter and more sparkly to signify the lightness when you're out.
The third one's in the beginning.
Hello.
Hi, Meg.
Hello.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very excited. How did you feel when you found out about the recognition?
Happy. Happy for all my hard work.
Well, I seen big changes when the council came back to me and said that they got a house available for the women. And that was a relief for me, you know. So I was so happy where women can go to the place where they can be safe. Was a big relief for me then.
I know it for myself because I went through a hard battle too, but I've been a woman that could stand up and face my trouble and walk out of it, you know. I never let myself down. I always walk head high without having my head down.
And save them having in my house was too much, getting too much for me too in my house. I explained to council everything what was happening. Women come at night late, sometime at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. But I had to take them in because there was nowhere else for them to run, to go.
Well, when we first started off, like we had women's getting bashed up, and no other stronger people used to stand up and, take women in. We used to take them in our own shelter. Myrtle, we used to take her mob in, and on our side of the village, I used to take my mob in. But yeah, then me and Myrtle talked about a shelter between ourselves, We're saying, oh, well, we should have a little house somewhere put up for a woman to go there and stay there for the night or something,
So proud working with my people in the community, with women and children especially. And so I didn't expect this award, and it's a big thing happened for me in May.
Councillors, I thank you for your encouragement. Those sort of things, one of the easiest ways to help is to shine light on issues that happen, and indicated earlier that I'd be arranging a meeting for myself to work with the Domestic Violence Council anyway, but where you've got people who've truly championed, lived it, Myrtle's had people knocking on her door at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and providing them safety, and that's not unique to Aboriginal communities. That happens in other non-Aboriginal centric communities all over Australia, but these two ladies, I believe, are true groundbreaking in what they've done. They've been supported by their local government, and I think the fact that the fraternity of local government across the state's come together to create this award in honour of the former Mayor of Arakoon, and these ladies are the first recipients of it, is worthy of us taking 15 minutes out of our day to look at what the award was, look at the physical creation of it, but more importantly, to write to and honour and thank those ladies for the work they've done for their communities. So I would like to move that the council receives this report and congratulates May and Myrtle on their award win. Please. Call for a seconder. Councillor Gleeson. Any comment?
Mr Mayor, I was there and I saw that too, and I think it was the thing that council asked, but I think it was the thing that really affected most at the conference, that grabbed everyone's attention. Brett was there too, but it's not only that they took women in, it would have been the opposition they would have received from the community, from relatives of those ladies and the partners of those ladies. They would have dropped a lot of flack. They're very brave women.
Yeah, they're truly inspirational, and the fact that the community now feels strong enough around this issue to publicly acknowledge them goes a long way towards helping to fix the scourge that domestic and family violence has become. I have and will continue to provide the feedback to LGAQ. They made the mistake of presenting this at about 3 o'clock on the last afternoon conference. This should have been presented at exactly the same time as the next agenda item, 3316 at the gala dinner, in my opinion. This is one that like anyone who's not impressed by the work they did, if not touched, is going to be few and far between. But 3316, one of our patch, the late great Mayor Butch Linton, Mayor of Winton. Oh, sorry, I have not voted. Put that to the vote, please. Carried unanimously. Butch was a man that many in this room would know, not necessarily through their involvement in local government, but through their involvement in community, especially rugby league. Butch tragically lost his life while serving as the Mayor of Winton in the last term. He was an innovator and looked for many different initiatives, but LGAQ created a bursary to honour the memory of Butch. Of course, our own acting CEO, Brett Walsh, was the very first winner of that. And we've seen a presentation from him as a result of his study tour. But I would like to show you the recipient of this year, which was the Berkshire Council for their innovation. So we just have a look at the video that they showed with the top one. Oh, sorry, already done.
Hello from the magnificent salt flats of the Gulf of Carpentaria. Extraordinary times call for extraordinary solutions. COVID-19 posed a great threat to Berkshire. We closed our borders, protected our community. Nobody in, nobody out for 4 months. This triggered massive challenges, a great one being the ongoing training of our staff, particularly keeping our guys safe on the job. Our solution? We put up our hand to pilot virtual reality workplace health and safety training from Brisbane startup Next World Enterprises. And suddenly, the coolest cats at council were the workplace health and safety team. Dave Gornell, Jasmine Davis, and Chantel George. Our status as early adopters builds on previous decisions by Mayor Ernie Camp and council to bring high-speed blue fibre into Burketown. All of that vision came with the blessing and support of the traditional owners here in Berkshire. I am standing on the land of the Gangalida people. Their ancestors have been here for more than 65,000 years. I repay my respect to elders and emerging leaders, Councillor John Yanna, Deputy Mayor Tonya Murray, Marindu Yanna, Mangubadijari Yanna, and our council management staff. To our ecological warriors, the Rangers, and to our strong and smart, high-achieving youngsters. Let me tell you a little about our home. We have a population of fewer than 500 people, but our shire is huge. Berkshire is bigger than Belgium, and our cattle stations, some of them are bigger than Luxembourg. To the north, we have the waters of the Gulf of Carpentaria, and to the west, we're bordered by the Northern Territory. Today, our isolation in such a remote land has allowed us to set a clear goal and vision for the future. We've set ourselves the task of becoming the model multicultural remote community in Australia. Our 4 focus points are inclusion, integrity, innovation, and infrastructure. So you can see how this award bolsters our vision. We're on the right track, as envisaged by our Mayor, Ernie Camp and Council.
Giving us connectivity in the modern world is very vital, especially when you're trying to engage with people outside your area, and of course, in this case, training is a vital part of it. We can train separately by ourselves, but with connectivity, we can expand it to train to somebody in Brisbane or New York. And as we know with the gaming world, learning as a team is certainly more exciting than learning as an individual.
Looking ahead, Berkshire Council will continue to build on our blue fibre advantage. We will encourage people from all over Australia to come and work here in our warm winter months. Digital nomads, people we call IMADs. They can experience real outback life and our natural beauty. They can experience real Indigenous culture and put their children into our high-performing primary school where they will learn Gangalida language. The COVID crisis has taught us all that we can work from home. With our powerful blue fibre, that home could easily be Burketown. The prize money from this award will be used to provide free virtual training to our community in consultation with our residents.
If you're professionals from around Australia, got some skills to offer, you won't find a greater community in this continent. Work seasonally, use your laptops, do everything by Wi-Fi. You can be fishing on the bank, catching a barra while you're doing your work, and I'm not kidding you. So we've got something to offer. It's a place where you can leave your keys in your car, your house unlocked. It's incredible. Very clean, friendly community. One of the best in the country for sure. Got a great CEO, got a great council, and we're working together jointly.
But let's be clear, technology is not innovation. Technology is an enabler, along with intelligence and along with access to capital. We certainly have the brains in the bush, and this tribute to Butch Lenton is testimony to that. But we need to have access to capital. We need the federal government to assist us in accessing loans that we desperately need in the regions. Loans that will allow our people to participate in the Aussie dream of home ownership. Minister Hinchcliffe has given us permission to sell our council housing to our staff, and I thank you for that, Minister. When we get a lender to the table, Berkshire will have the highest Aboriginal freehold residential land ownership per capita in Australia. Now that's innovation.
Thank you, Hayley. Same councillors, I think every council is unique and different. Butcher's Award this year has honoured one who's tried to use technology to provide for an essential service, and hopefully that can be expanded upon within their community, and they've articulated other things, so I think they are to be congratulated for the work they're doing within the fraternity of local government to innovate as well. Can somebody please move that? Councillor Peoples, second to Councillor Arthur. Any comments? Being none, I'll put it to the vote. Those in favour? Carried 7-0. Thank you for your indulgence there, councillors. 3317. Comments, questions, considerations? Rick or Brett, would like to add anything?
Got a letter late
Okay.
that came in
Which is in the can.
with that application.
This is the Villafield Road.
This is the access for Villafield, yes, via Creek Farm Road. Yeah. Councillor Gleeson.
The attachment is a letter from Brompton.
Right.
Yeah, that was late. Yeah.
The request wasn't, but the formal letter was.
Yeah. Yes, so I received a email request and a verbal request. Formal letter came in.
So what have we got to do here? Council?
Well, we'll have to sign or not object to the land opening effectively.
That's it.
This resolution, that's all it asks us for. This resolution is on the condition that the landholder constructs the road.
And it's to me that it becomes a council road, that
Maintenance,
extra
yes.
kilometre, so it's an extra kilometre of maintenance in the future.
Got a question? Councillors, questions?
Move the motion.
Councillor Peoples moves. Seconder, Councillor Hanson. No further comment? Go to the vote. Those in favour? Carried. 7-0. Right. Councillors, can we have under section 254J a motion to close the meeting on the basis of 3I? The local government is required to keep confidential under law or formal arrangement between the Commonwealth or state. Councillor Peoples, second to Councillor Gleeson. Question about why? Commentary about why?
With respect to, is there financial or patient information to be discussed?
The report itself could disclose, because of the size of our area, individually could identify patients, and the sums of money are involved commercial in confidence between us and the Commonwealth and the state. Therefore, I put it to the vote. 7-0, meeting closed.